You saw last night's game, and this has now been transpiring over the last two games. I can tell you this now. Last night, a rivalry was born.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you can check us out over on Twitter at BrianClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter there. And of course, while you're at it, make sure to search up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, including over on YouTube. Hit that subscriber button, drop a comment, drop a thumbs up, or even a thumbs down. Whatever makes you happy will make me happy. Later on in today's show, the Nationals, they've dropped the first two games against the Padres. We've got the Game 3 preview today with DJ Hers on the bump going up against Dylan Cease, who, by the way, he stinks this year in 2024. We'll have that preview for you a little bit later on in today's show. Patrick Corbin has been pitching pretty damn well recently. What are the Nationals going to do with the starting rotation? I've got a few ideas for you. And again, this is going to be a big hot topic as Josiah Gray continues to work back from his rehab assignments down in AAA. We've got an update on that, by the way, and that'll be in the second segment of today's show. But we start right here. Last night, a rivalry was born between the Nationals and the Padres. Today's episode is brought to you by Tax Network USA. And of course, did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait, reduce your tax debt and help get a team of the licensed tax professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 and visit tnusa.com/lockedon. So last night, as we were saying, there was a rivalry born. Yes, there was. Over the last two games, I've never seen a team kind of act the way that they have over these last two games under Davey Martinez. Not once in my life. Not once in your life even. The Nationals have always kind of laid low under the radar. You don't really see them having crazy brawls. You think back to the Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper days, those were some different days. That was when the Nationals kind of had that sexiness to them. Right now, they don't really have that sexy vibe. Well, if you were to consider all things here, with the Nationals and with the Padres, this rivalry has kind of come out of nowhere. And yeah, this is a rivalry at this point. Let's talk about this, because I'm not going to lie, I hate the Padres. I didn't hate them before this, but I hate them now. They stink. I think they suck. The organization, AJ Preller. Let's start off. Let's kind of go back in the history of the Padres, way back in the mid-2010s, early 2010s even, when the Nationals and Mike Rizzo, who's still here, by the way, robbed A.J. Preller. They sent Steven Souza Jr. in that whole trade package, and the Nationals, you get back Trey Turner, the future star shortstop, who is now at Philadelphia Philly, who won a World Series with the Washington Nationals. You also got Joe Ross, who is a good, meaningful part of this rotation back in the mid to late 2010s for the organization. The Nationals won that deal, one of the craziest deals over the last decade. You won that deal. Now let's go back just 2 years ago. The San Diego Padres, they trade for Juan Soto. They give up the biggest package, not only in Major League history, but probably professional sports history. You get James Wood. You get Mackenzie Gore, who went in last night's game, who didn't have his best start. Doesn't matter today. Does not matter. You get your star shortstop with C.J. Abrams. You get a lottery ticket with the Robert Hassel III, who, by the way, is starting to turn things around here. You get a Yarlene Susana type who also, by the way, throws 102 miles per hour, still in low A Fredericksburg, and has also turned things around. That's kind of where it starts here. Well, not a real rivalry, you could say. Well, Jurickson Profar, You're up. 2 days ago, when the Nationals completely blew apart in the 10th inning, Jurickson Profar, Hunter Harvey kind of threw a fastball way up and in on what Profar thought was way up and on him. Some people were kind of thinking that he was upset about that. But then in his post-game interview, Jurickson Profar went in and was like, they disrespected me. Well, let's think about this for a second. Luis Arias, probably the best contact hitter in all of baseball, with ducks on the pond in a tie game. Well, would you not walk him in that situation of where the Nationals stood at that moment in time? What are you talking about? He was felt disrespected. And so, of course, he went on, hit that walk-off ground rule double, whatever. Then he makes his way towards the Nationals dugout, starts celebrating in their face, yelling at them, doing all the different things that crosses a line in Major League Baseball. The game is fun. You have 162 games. You should have fun. It's fine. You should have fun. But there is a line that you have crossed. And the Nationals, they were not happy with it, as they shouldn't have been. He crossed that line. And again, some people may say, let the guy have fun. You disrespected him, quote unquote, whatever. That's stupid. So stupid. Yesterday's game happens. We all kind of expected to have some fireworks in the game. And there was. So first inning, the Nationals come up, don't do too hot in the first three batters, whatever. My eyes were set on Mackenzie Gore and what was going to happen there. So, Keibert Ruiz, as Jurickson Profar steps up to the plate, Mackenzie Gore is 5 pitches into his game. Before he even gets to the batter's box, Keibert Ruiz makes a split-second decision to get in his face and kind of say, hey, you need to show us respect. Because what you did last night, and again, this is all verbatim, I don't really know exactly what was said. We don't know exactly what was said. But he got in his face and let him know that they felt disrespected, as they should have, by the way. And let's just put this right here, right now. Keibert Ruiz, way to go. Stud. Leader. You have had a very poor season up to this date. Very poor, in fact. A disappointing year. That showed a lot to me. Number one, a leader in the clubhouse. Number two, stick up for your guys. Hunter Harvey, I'm sure he probably felt some sort of way after yesterday, or after 2 nights ago in that game. I'm sure he had to. You stepped up for him, and you showed that you've got leadership. Great. Good thing. Manny Machado gets in the way, who has been in a million different fights in his life up in Major League Baseball. He gets in the way. Bench is clear. All this is just a you-know-what show. And at this point in time, that's when we all knew, we're like, Late Night Nats is going to be a fun one. Very first pitch by Mackenzie Gore to Jurickson Profar. He throws a slider, and it hits him in the back of the foot, and all of a sudden, Mike Shildt goes, you know what? He loses it, goes ballistic, says, how is this not obvious? How is he not going to get thrown out of the game? He gets thrown out, Mike Shildt. And let's just say this. Mackenzie Gore did not purposely hit Profar. You are not throwing a slider to hit someone. It was just a ball that he lost control of, which is the funniest part about this, in my opinion. Because, again, with this, Mackenzie Gore played on the Padres. He's got friends on that team, I'm sure. He's not going to be the one to plunk you. And again, with under Davey Martinez, that's not really the way that they roll. This isn't David Bell with the Cincinnati Reds back in the day where they just seem to plunk everybody every single night. This isn't really that team. The Nationals don't do this. This is not their character. And again, with all the relationships at play here with Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams being former Padres, it doesn't really make sense. But that is when a rivalry was born. Mackenzie Gore hits Profar accidentally. Obviously, tempers start to flare. And then, of course, Manny Machado hits a 2-run home run the very next pitch. And it's just like, whatever. You got us. You're up 2-0. Profar, he's wiping his shoulders up. Whatever. Here's my thing with this. Here's where I stand. San Diego, What does that say right there? If you're watching over on YouTube, you'll probably see what I'm pointing at. That says World Series right there. It's World Series. We've got championships here in DC. You don't. You don't know what it's like to win a championship. You don't know what it's like to sit in a parade and watch your team go around with a World Series trophy. You don't know what it's like to have your right ring finger filled with a ring. You guys are perennial losers. AJ Preller, joke of a GM. Jurickson Profar, former top prospect. You finally have a good season. Good for you. Here's my thing about it. This team, one of the highest payrolls in all of baseball. A very loaded farm system. A solid GM even that people talk about and rave about. AJ Preller this, AJ Preller that. You gave away your future for Juan Soto and you just blew it. We won with him. You traded him away. You got nothing. And again, this year, you are fighting against the Nationals for a postseason spot. If the Nationals won last night's game, and let's say they won today's game, the Nationals would have jumped them in the wild card race. You are a joke of an organization. The Padres, joke. Jurickson Profar, joke. Everything San Diego, joke. Petco Park, very nice, joke. All of it. Not a Padres fan. I used to actually like the Padres. Thank you, AJ Preller. And again, if AJ Preller calls again and try to make a trade, Mike Rizzo answer it and let's do a damn trade. I mean, simple as that. My whole thing about this is that baseball is a fun game, number one. You crossed the line, though. The Padres started this. Jurickson Profar, again, oh, what a joke. A joke. I cannot say this enough. I can just tell you this, San Diego, Padres, Ron Burgundy style. I'm not going to say it, but if you know the quote. You know it. I'm tired of it. San Diego, the Padres, don't like you anymore. You should not like San Diego. Just because you have a beach. Just because you have palm trees. I can tell you one thing that Washington has that you don't have. That is a World Series ring. Sorry. We have that. Manny Machado doesn't. Fernando Tatis doesn't. Especially Jurickson Profar. He definitely does not have a World Series ring. Dylan Cease. None of them. They don't have one. Sorry. That's what you play the game for. And now, after you make all these trades, you trade for Luis Arias, who, by the way, he is slumping all of a sudden. Dylan Cease, he's got a mid-4 ERA at this point in the season. You know who else has a lower ERA than him? Mitchell Parker. Was a 5th-round pick back in 2020 for the Nationals. Sorry about it. This Nationals rotation has been better than the Padres so far in 2024. Sorry. The offense? Yeah, maybe you have a better offense, but guess what? We're only, a game and a half back from you at this point? Listen, San Diego, I'm sorry. The fans, you deserve better. What a joke the Padres are. Simple as that. And that is why a rivalry was born. San Diego, you stink. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. I went on too long there, but I like San Diego. That's why I did that. Obviously, that is why I did that, because I love San Diego. And of course, I love AJ Preller. Please call Mike Rizzo. Please make a trade with us yet again. I would love to do business with you. Mike Rizzo would love to do business with you. And Nationals fans, we'd love to do business with you as well. But we got business to do here on Locked On Nationals. Let me tell you guys about our friends over at eBay Motors. And guys, passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're running rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the price you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep a ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Now, let me tell you guys about our friends over at LinkedIn. And of course, are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That is linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon to get started. Now we get into it with the Nationals. You've got a very good problem to have. Well, actually, let me kind of take that back. You don't really have a very good problem here. You don't. Patrick Corbin has kind of turned his season around here. Now, again, let's kind of not read too deep into this. You know what to expect. But over his last 3 starts, listen, 17 1/3 innings pitched, only 12 hits, 5 earned runs, 16 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's got a 2.6 ERA, a 2.52 fielding independent pitching, 197 batting average against, and a 2.13 slug. At this point in time, the Nationals, they have this weird kind of situation going. You've got multiple guys coming back from injury who, by the way, should be up here relatively soon, including with the forefront of that being Josiah Gray. Josiah Gray pitched in a rehab start last night in AAA Rochester where he went 73 pitches, looked really good, but here's the news on him. Josiah Gray is expected to pitch again this Sunday unless the Nationals change their mind. So let's say in this scenario that the Nats and Davey Martinez do decide to change their mind. Who gets replaced? Is it Patrick Corbin at this point in time? The reason I've never really believed that it's going to be Patrick Corbin is because of what the Nationals have done the last few years. People talk about, well, you don't really have anywhere else to go. You have Jackson Rutledge in years past. You have Yohan Adone. Now, people might look at that and scoff and be like, Yohan Adone, Jackson Rutledge, the 2 guys who haven't been good in the minors? Yeah. They're better than Patrick Corbin at this point. They're more consistent. They're young guys that the Nationals want to mold into their future some way, somehow, or at least they did at one point in time. But also at this point, with Patrick Corbin, I don't think it's off the books to consider trading Patrick Corbin. Yeah, it might sound insane to you, but 2 years ago, if you remember this, the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, came calling for Patrick Corbin. The Nationals were offered Marcell Ozuna, who is probably an MVP candidate at this point with the way that he's been hitting, certainly in the Silver Slugger conversation. The Nationals had that offer on the table. Now, it would be a bad contract for a bad contract at that point in time, but the Nationals would have won that deal. I would not be surprised if Mike Rizzo some way, somehow worked a trade with Patrick Corbin involved. Now, is this going to be a John Lester type of deal? Maybe. Are we going to get Lane Thomas back? Someone who has been your MVP the last 2 years of this team? Probably not. It'll probably be the 110th best prospect in a team system. You might eat the rest of Patrick Corbin's contract, whatever. At this point in time, the Nationals, they've got a future foundation here. You've got Mackenzie Gore as your ace. You've got Jake Irvin as your 2. You've got Mitchell Parker as your 3. You've got Josiah Gray, who was your all-star last year, coming back as your 4. You also have Keibert Ruiz, who's going to be coming back from Tommy John, hopefully sometime here soon, maybe in the next month, probably 2 months at this point. And then you also have DJ Hurst, who's on the bump tonight. And even furthermore than that, you do have Jackson Rutledge. And also on top of it, you've got Trevor Williams, who I expect that they trade at this year's deadline. But at this point in time, the only option forward is getting Patrick Corbin out of this rotation. Because while this team has been competitive, and while Patrick Corbin has pitched a lot better, Mike Rizzo and Davey Martinez, and as well as the rest of the Nationals organization, they've got their eyes on the future. You can't lose that sight of looking forward. And again, it's all about the young guys right now. It is about developing pitching, in which the Nationals have done at an incredible rate. You also, not even to mention, have Brad Lord down in AAA right now, who has been lights out. You have options. And again, this is the best situation the Nationals could be in. You have not developed pitching at this rate in forever under Mike Rizzo. It just has not happened. This has been the best of the best under Mike Rizzo. And now you have Patrick Corbin, who is still in the equation, who's still part of this team, but in reality, he should not be. He either should be traded, he should be in the bullpen, or DFA him. Eat the contract. Is it more meaningful to have Patrick Corbin pitch every few days, have 5 innings, 5 earned runs over the next course of the calendar year? Or is it more important to have DJ Hurst develop up in the majors, who, by the way, has shown a lot of promise so far? It is an interesting discussion to be had, but I think with Corbin pitching as well as he has been recently, I don't think it's insane to say that a team would just take a chance on Patrick Corbin, not to be their 5th starter, but for someone to have in the postseason who has postseason experience and has won a World Series, something the Padres have not done. So I think that Patrick Corbin being traded and a team wanting Patrick Corbin is not as crazy as what you may think. Yeah, he's not that good. Yeah, you won't get anything back in return. Whatever. You're getting him off the books. You're getting someone else in here. And it allows some room for your young pitchers that you can go to a 6-man rotation and stretch out all your young pieces like Josiah Gray, like Keibert Ruiz, like Mitchell Parker, Jake Irvin. Multiple guys in that room have had Tommy John surgery with Jake Irvin as well as Keibert Ruiz. You want to stretch those guys out. So having a 6-man rotation with all these young guys in the second half of the season, that is by far and away the most enticing thing and probably the best thing moving forward that this organization can do. Move on from Patrick Corbin. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And now, let me tell you guys about our friends over at Tax Network USA. And here on Locked On Nationals, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in the episode description below. Now, let me tell you guys about our friends over at PrizePicks. And of course, we've been telling you guys about PrizePicks, but you may ask, What is it? Well, PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. And if you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. When the final's over, the hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up, with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves alongside greats like Breanna Stewart. You could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. And of course, you can just go more or less on player stats, but what you have to do is download the PrizePicks app and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Now we get back into it as the Nationals take on the San Diego Padres in Game 3 of this series. Let me just remind you guys this. The San Diego Padres, they've never won a World Series. Jurickson Profar, he stinks. He really stinks. Manny Machado, I love Manny Machado. I won't say anything bad about him, but guess what? He's got no World Series ring either. AJ Preller, he's got no World Series ring either as a GM. The San Diego Padres, irrelevant. Jurickson Profar, irrelevant. Dylan Cease, you traded for him at this last winter. Thought that he was going to be the frontline ace. He's got a mid-4s ERA on the season. He's not that good. DJ Hurst, 23-year-old left-handed pitcher. He's going to strike out 10 batters today. Go 6 innings pitch. Only give up 4 hits. 1 earned run. You heard that line here first. Yes, listen, it's as simple as this. You bet with good organizations. The Padres, they aren't a good organization. They aren't. They made me stay up until 1 a.m. last night fuming over the way that they did. Just terrible. Awful. Terrible baseball team. Terrible organization. Everything about them, not good. Guess what? If I'm Mike Rizzo at this point in time, I'm not conducting this in a professional manner. I'm not a professional person, in fact. I get mad. The Nationals are mad. Jesse Winker, by the way, we didn't even get to talk about the game and what happened in yesterday's game. I don't care about what happened in yesterday's game. I'm mad. Just 10 hours ago, 12:30 at night, we're watching this stupid Padres team do what they have to do, which is nothing. Be irrelevant. You're asking, well, where's the preview for today? The preview is the Padres stink. AJ Preller stinks. Mike Shildt stinks. Guess what? We swept your ass in the NLCS in 2019. Get ejected again. Go for it. Come after Davey Martinez. I'd love to see them fight. So I know Davey is a little rough out there. Here's my thing about it. Dylan Cease stinks. The Padres stink. San Diego, got nice beaches, stink. The Pacific Ocean, it's cold. Just like Padres fans' hearts. Because guess what? You've never seen a World Series in your life. Trash. Awful. Jurickson Profar, bad. Bad baseball player. He's had a good year. One good year. You know who else had a good year? Victor Robles. But on top of that, he won a World Series. Sorry. He was also a former top prospect. Victor Robles, World Series champion. Sorry. Ask Mike Shildt about it. He lost to him in the 2019 NLCS. Got swept. Anibal Sanchez had a perfect game going. Max Scherzer had a no-hitter going against him in that same series. Sorry. Padres, they stink. Irrelevant. AJ Preller, call Mike Rizzo. Let's make a trade. You know what? Why don't you give up Jackson Merrill? Jackson Merrill for Patrick Corbin. You like selling jerseys. You like the big flashy names. Patrick Corbin's still a big name. He's a World Series champ. He was a winner in Game 7 of the World Series, something that you guys don't have. Sorry. Make that trade, AJ Preller. Call Mike Rizzo. So today's preview, you don't need a preview. Padres stink. Irrelevant. Stupid. I'm immature. Sorry. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. I think a lot of you learned a lot about me today. I'm a hater. Don't like the Padres anymore. Still a little fed up with last night's game. Keibert Ruiz, let's hit a bomb today. Manny Machado, let's get in a benches clearing brawl. Why not? DJ Hers, he gets a little wild out there. He has had some tendencies to hit some guys in the past. Not purposely, but his arm's a little erratic. He's a young kid learning his way. So, what you say? Beat the Padres.